of year, everything that comes out is cute, so. Hey y'all, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is just going to be full of mainly products that I've already used. I have 2 items that we will be using that are brand new to me, but everything else I wanted to go through that makeup drawer, pull out some of that older stuff that I typically tend to look over, and see if I still like them and where they fall on my list of products that I love. So if you like this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you already haven't, do all the things, and let's get into today's video. So I'm still not feeling very good. This has been a struggle, let me tell you, and it is really awful that right now, because I cannot find a doctor who can get me in soon enough, I literally walk around the house with a little puke bucket, and it's awful that somebody has to live like that, and I don't really know what else to do. The only thing that makes me feel better when I start feeling that nauseated feeling is if I throw up. My body is not doing what it's supposed to as far as moving contents from my stomach to my colon. So basically what's happening is everything that I'm taking in, it's just building up to where the body wants to expel it, and that usually comes with vomiting. So yeah, that is what I am dealing with, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna film today's video anyway, so if my throat is a little messed up, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. But yeah, like I said in the intro, everything that I'm going to be using today is all stuff that I've had for a long time, except for 2 items. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is the Gargoyle palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is a beautiful palette. I cannot wait to dig into this. And we also have the new baked blush from Ravie Beauty. So everything except those 2 products, we're basically testing them all over again because I've not used them in so long. So I hope you like the video, and let's get into it. So I had to make sure that I had water before we started this video because I can already tell that my voice is going to be cracking a lot. And have you all seen the new Halloween Stanley? Like, how cute is that? It does glow in the dark too. It is so nice. It's embellished with spider webs. Oh, absolutely love it. So I zoomed you all in just a little bit. To start off, I am going to be using a hydrating primer because my face is definitely going through a dry phase right now. We live in Louisville, Kentucky, so right now our temperature that we're having is anywhere between like the 50s and 60s during the day, and then it's dropping down to like the mid 30s in the morning, and my face is definitely feeling it. I definitely have some dry patches around the nose, so I'm going to make sure to use a good hydrating moisturizer. That is going to be the Fourth Ray Beauty. This is their Thirst Aid Hydrating Primer Moisturizer. I've only used this a couple times and it's been a little bit, so I'm not really sure how this wears. People get worked up with new makeup when they don't realize like how much good older makeup they have in there, and that is why we are using what we're using today. Now I did remember that this primer does have that really small applicator. Ooh, yeah, it does have a really nice scent to it. I like it a lot. It almost reminds me of cucumber melon, which if you all are around my age, which I am 36, when I was in high school and middle school, the cucumber melon Calgon was like my go-to body spray. Like, I used it all the time, and I feel like back then everybody had that. It was just so good. And does anybody else remember Kmart? I bought so much from Kmart back in the day. Like, I would always go there for Christmas and buy their beauty sets. It would be like a body wash and lotion or like a body spray, and I would always buy that cucumber melon because I loved it so much. But the texture of this is not as thin as I expected it to be. The way it kind of looked whenever I put it on my fingers, it definitely kind of dripped down the finger like a something that would have more of a thinner consistency. But it is definitely leaving the skin nice and dewy, and I made sure to really put this around the nose because this is where I'm having a lot of my dryness. It does almost feel like it leaves a greasy residue, which don't really love that. Just now realized that I totally should have waited to do the primer because I am going to be using a new eyeshadow palette today, and we're going to be doing that first. So here is the Unearthly Cosmetics Gargoyle palette. This is the actual box that the item comes in. How pretty is that? They have some of the prettiest artwork on their makeup. There is what the carton of the palette looks like. I've had this palette for a month or so now, at least. And the problem is I buy all these new palettes that I really want to use and forget about the ones that I already have in there. That's why I really like to do these videos. And also, let me know if you all would like to see a my husband shops my stash video. I'm really dying to do that, and I think it would be so fun. I think you really just rediscover old favorites. There is the palette. That color story is so pretty. I love these muted dark tones in here. They are so pretty. This is an 18 pan palette, and I want to say this retails for $65. I can't quite remember. Also, yes, I am back with the dark hair. This is definitely going to be the color that it's staying. This is honestly my favorite. Like, when I'm not doing like a fall red, which I probably won't do this year, but probably next year with my hair being grown out, I will probably go back to the red color that I used during the fall. But yeah, this shade here, this is what she's gonna be any other time of the year, and I'm pretty happy with it. The first thing I'm gonna do is prime the eyes with my Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna use the BK Beauty in 16 to blend this concealer out. The first shade that I'm going to tap into is this shade right here that's called Gothic Grace. I have a feeling this is going to be a little more pink than I intend my look to be. And I am just using a brush from What's Up Beauty. This is a natural hair brush. Now, I'm not sure what color eye look I'm wanting to do today because I feel like I just did a blue not long ago. Of course, you guys know that I love green. And then also there's these beautiful purple tones in here. So I went and just looked at my most recent YouTube videos and trying to figure out what color I wanted to do on the eyes today. I really don't like doing like the same colors videos in a row. I try to do different things for you guys. So I think we're going to do a kind of purpley green look today. The next shade that I'm going to pop into is this green right here, and it is called Grim Morning. And I'm just going to take this color on another smaller fluffy brush and just put this right into the crease. And this is just another brush from What's Up Beauty. I also have two other new palettes from Unearthly Cosmetics that I'm definitely going to use in another video. My plan was to do more than just a video a week for you guys in the month of October, because I had so many like spooky palettes that I really wanted to share with you guys. But with everything that I have going on now health-wise, I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it. But you know, it doesn't really matter. You can use any eyeshadow palette any time of the year, so you all are going to eventually see the new palettes. Zoomed you all in just a little bit. I should have done the purple on the lid. We're going to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to go in with this little pencil brush. This is also from What's Up Beauty. And I'm going to dip into this purple shade that's called a Sinister Figure right there in the center. And I am going to outline the crease and then kind of wing this color out a little bit. It's going to get quiet because it's hard for me to do this and talk, so I apologize. It's always so hard for me to do stuff on my right eye because I can't get the skin there nice and flat. I almost need to practice facial expressions and practicing getting that eye nice and flat. Do the same thing to this other eye. It would be nice if I had some like audio playing for you guys when I wasn't talking, but I really don't know where I can find music that isn't copyrighted that they allow in these videos. So if you all have any suggestions for that, please feel free to comment down below and let me know. Their eyeshadows are so nice. They are so pigmented. And I'm not having any fallout with this shade so far. They're also not super powdery either. So now that we have that outline there, now we're going to go in and kind of smoke it out and fill it. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this small Refer brush. This is the Refer 13. And I'm going to pop in to this gray shade right here. It is called Deep Sleep. And I'm going to go into that line that's up there on the top and kind of buff this out and create a smoky look with the gray shadow. I want to try to do some bolder looks for you all, even though I know a lot of you probably don't do super bold eyeshadow looks all the time. It's just kind of fun when you get these new colorful palettes to do these more bold looks, and they are my favorite looks to do, to be honest with you. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this BK203 and I'm going to go back into that pastel-y green shade called Grim Morning, and I'm going to apply this all over the crease. And I think I got too much of that purple over here and it's not wanting to really build up. I will say one thing is I am not super creative and I have a really hard time of using my imagination. So I just started following this new YouTuber. It's been about 3 or so months, and her name is Julia Adams. And first of all, I love her. So Julia, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, I do. You're one of my favorite YouTubers. And I love watching her do her just funky, bold eyeshadow looks. And I'm like, I wish that I had the mind to be able to look at colors and just know exactly what I'm going to do. Just got done watching a video that she posted, I want to say like a year or so ago. And it was purple. And it is what kind of inspired me to do this look today. So I got that green probably as bold as it's going to go. So we're going to go in with this shimmery green that's called Eerie Echoes. And we're going to put this all over the lid. I am going to be using the fingertip. How beautiful is that? Oh my goodness. This shade is absolutely beautiful. The look is almost turned out to be more mermaidy, and guys, I don't hate it. Now I am having a little bit of fallout with this shimmery shade, but honestly, it's to be expected and doesn't really bother me. You guys, this is so pretty. I'm going to go in with a clean, fluffy brush. This is just a medium shader brush. It's the BK A501. And I'm just using that brush to kind of blend out that shadow up at the top. It's going to look better after I fix the line with the makeup remover wipes. And you know, I don't know how or what settings these ladies are using on their camera, but I feel like my makeup never looks as flawless as it does in some of these YouTube videos that I watch. So I'm taking a makeup remover wipe now, and I'm going to clean off that fallout, and I'm going to drag the wipe in a diagonal motion to give this eyeshadow here a nice sharp line. You'll be able to see this line a little bit better once I get foundation and the redness kind of disappears from me rubbing my eyes. Now, just to be on the safe side, I'm actually going to pick that primer up again, and I'm going to use just a little bit more. I'm going to rub this around my nose. And where I have some of this dry skin here. And then I'm just dragging the rest of this kind of underneath the eye area where I just wiped off all that primer from earlier. If you all do not have one of these little fans, I highly recommend them. This one came from Amazon. It has 3 different speeds, and it just kind of helps your makeup and stuff kind of sit a lot quicker. And plus, I mean, look, it just feels good. Now that that primer is dried, we're going to go in with foundation. And I am using the Revolution Skin Milk Luminous Serum Foundation. And this is in the shade F3. It has this beautiful luxe glass frosted bottle. It does have a pump dispenser. I have not used this since I first bought it, so this might not be the right shade color for me, but we'll figure it out. There is the consistency of that. It seems like more of a lighter formula, which makes sense since it is called the Serum Foundation. Since I don't really remember how quick this dries, we're going to go in and start blending this out. It does have a little bit of a scent to it, I think. I can't tell if that's the foundation or if I'm still smelling the primer. This is just the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. This is one of my favorite brushes to use with foundation. Drugstore or high-end, it doesn't matter. Right now, from where I spent so much time in the sun this summer, my freckles are just so much more prominent than they have been in the last few years. That one pump didn't quite do as much as I wanted it to. I don't think this has a scent to it. This has decent coverage so far. I definitely would not say this is a full coverage foundation because you can definitely see my freckles popping through. Okay, now I guess it's because my nose had so much dryness on it. I have noticed that the more I've gone over my nose, the more that it's starting to almost look balled up. I'm going to zoom y'all in just a little bit to see if you can see it. You can really see it in this area right here. Okay, wow. And you can also see it right here in the center of the forehead. So right off the bat, I'm saying if you have dry skin at all, this is probably not going to be the foundation for you. I really expected the amount of primer that I'd put on that it would have combated a little bit of that dryness, but it definitely didn't. The way this looks right now, I'm not going to be able to fix it. It looks really bad. You guys, I'm actually shocked at how bad this foundation is looking right now. You can really see the dryness in this area around the side of the nose. You guys, I really didn't want this to be 2 videos in a row where I have trouble with the foundation that I picked, and it's really discouraging, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, I know it's been a couple weeks since I've really done makeup, but my skin is just awful. Guess we're gonna wipe this off and we'll be right back. These towels are so nice. I get them off Amazon. So I just got done dermaplaning, trying to get some of this dry skin off here, and now I'm gonna hydrate my skin with the e.l.f. This is their Holy Hydration. This is their Gel Yeah Moisturizer. This gel moisturizer is so good. I use it a lot. Mainly I use it after I get out of the shower at night before I go to bed, because I like cake this stuff on. I love it that much. It makes the skin just feel so nice and smooth. You could definitely tell how much dry skin and like just random like hairy spots I had on my face, and it just feels so nice. Now I can still see where I have a little bit of dryness here on the tip of my nose. Taking just the tiniest bit of that moisturizer. So I'm going to go in with the same foundation, and that is because I really want to test how well this foundation works, and I want to make sure that I do it on nice hydrated skin. But this time I am going to use a beauty sponge rather than a brush and see how this applies. Maybe not doing the like this motion with the brush, it might make it sit a little bit. So this is just a small beauty sponge. I get them in a pack of like 6 to 10 off of Amazon. They're the AOA beauty sponges, which I will link down below for you guys. But yeah, we're going to use this. Shake this up really good. Put a few pumps of this on the back of the hand, and this time we're going to go in with a damp beauty sponge. Okay, and now using this and not really using that primer, this does have a scent to it. It almost reminds me of a hairspray. I do not use beauty sponges very much. I know that I've told you all in videos before, I am much more of a brush girl. I just prefer a brush. I always have. But testing this foundation and having a little bit of dryness I had, I'm hoping that maybe in instances like this that the sponge might help it sit a little bit better. I do think I'm getting less coverage than I was whenever I was using the brush. I just did a second pump. Definitely using the sponge was the way to go on this. I think it obviously did take a little bit more foundation, which is pretty common because a lot of times sponges usually do soak up some of your foundation anyway. But yeah, it is definitely more of a natural to more luminous finish. I don't think it looks super oily. It is really pretty. I'm still seeing where it is looking a little bit dry on this tip of my nose here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to hide that right now. But I really don't want to go and put any more on this. I think what I have right now is pretty good. It does feel like it is drying down. Yes, it's definitely dried down. It doesn't even feel like I have makeup on. For concealer, I'm going to be going in with the Caliray Hideaway concealer, and this is in their lightest shade. I can never remember what this actual shade is called. Dawn. And this one does have a pink undertone, which I love because I think it blends out to look so pretty. I'm just going to go in with that same BK Beauty N16 brush. This definitely is a great concealer, especially kind of with me having more lighter skin. I can use this concealer with pretty much any foundation, and it really does just brighten up that under eye. I do think I did a little bit too much though. We will fix that though. Yeah, I definitely used a little bit too much concealer this time, but I think once we get everything on the face and blend it out, I think this will look okay. I'm going to take that wet sponge and kind of just blend out that edges a little bit, just to make it not so harsh under there that you can see the line of concealer. Yes, that looks much better. For powder, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This is one of my favorite drugstore setting powders. I'm just going to go in with this puff here and set the under eye. And I am not going to use setting powder anywhere on the face because I really don't think that it needs it. I'm going to take just a little bit more and put some of there on that nose. Now I'm going to take the same brush that I'm going to use for my blush, and I'm just going to kind of sweep this off the face. I will say right now that my face is looking a little flat, so hopefully once we get these other products on there, that we can give a little bit of life back to the skin. Alright, now we're going to go in with a bronzer. So I chose the Flower Heatwave bronzer, and this is definitely more of a baked formula, and since I'm using a baked blush, I also wanted to grab a bronzer. I've had this bronzer for so long. There is what that looks like. I'm going to use my Rose and Ben bronzer brush. Y'all know this is my favorite bronzer brush for powdered bronzer. I don't know if it's the shape or how fluffy it is, but it is so nice. And that is already given a little bit of life to the face. I don't know like how long you're supposed to buff all this out, but I just love buffing out makeup and powders. Like, I don't know, it's so satisfying, especially when you have just this amazing brush that you just love. So I think that we are good on bronzers. This is such a pretty bronzer, and I feel like it does have the pigment, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't go on super harsh, and it's just a great powder formula. It's one of my favorites from the drugstore when it comes to baked bronzers. Now we are going to go in with blush, and we are going to be using the new Ravie Beauty. This is their Endless Diffusion Everyday Baked Blush, and this is in the shade Paradise. Just pretty basic plastic carton. There is what she looks like, and I am going to be applying this with the Ravie Beauty blush brush. This was released whenever the blushes were released, and of course I had to have the brush. Sorry, I can't talk. And it is just super pretty. It's their normal like gray packaging. Wow. So yes, I am going to take a little bit of that off here, and I'm going to kind of wipe some of that onto a paper towel. Normally this is not the type of brush that I would use for blush. I definitely tend to lean more towards angled blush brushes. This applies it okay. I would say it's not nothing spectacular, I don't think you need it. Go in on the other side. And I have been kind of bringing a little bit of my blush just around the temple area just to kind of make it look more natural. I don't think I love this brush, to be honest with you. It's just really not the type of brush that I would use to apply brush. So in my opinion, I would maybe skip on this. One of my favorite blush brushes is this BK 112, and you can see how small it is. It's a nice angled, it's nice and fluffy. So I'm actually just going to take this and kind of buff all this out over here. Do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, this is just, this is my favorite blush brush. The blush is nice. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. I definitely have more affordable blushes that I would probably pick over this one. It is beautiful and I really want to support Allie, but get the blush. I would pass on the brush. Alright, so kind of looking at this area here, I feel like there's just something missing. I don't know if it's because it's not blended out. I'm actually going to go in with this powder brush here. And I'm just going to go and do circle motions on all this here just to kind of buff this all in together. Alright, so yeah, that looks quite a bit better now. I don't know how well you all can see it on camera, but it looks much more blended in person. Now we are going to go in with highlighter. Now you all have seen me use this highlighter before. It's the Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Enlighten. Now when I first bought this, I mainly bought this to use on my inner corner because it's such a nice bright white highlight, but today I'm actually going to use this as a highlighter. To apply this, I think I'm actually going to use the BK Beauty N14 brush. This is more of a like small tapered fluffy brush that I would normally use for like powder, but I'm going to try it with this highlighter today. Yeah, that is so pretty. Draw just a little bit down the center of the nose. Yes, you guys, how beautiful is that? So I just got up to change my camera battery and I was looking at a different mirror in different lighting, and you guys, my skin looks so much prettier on camera than it does in person. It is extremely, extremely powdery looking. So hopefully whenever I apply the setting spray, it'll kind of help it a little bit, but I just wanted to kind of note that. Yeah, definitely there is too much powder going on. It definitely looks a little bit thick in this area here, and it might not be the products. It very well could be me, which it probably is me. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish the eyes. I'm gonna take that dark purple shade, Sinister Figure, and I'm gonna use this Rephr 03 brush. It's just a small little pencil brush, and I'm gonna take some of that purple and put it completely under the waterline. These shadows are so pigmented. I only had to dip into that purple one time and was able to get enough under both eyes. I'm gonna fix the line on both sides of the eye while I have this pencil brush out. Take that smaller fluffy purple brush and blend this edge out here. Not dipping into any other color, I'm just using what's already there and blending it out with that. It's been so long since I've done an eye this bold. This eye look is so pretty. I kind of want to dip into this shade here called Awaken and put that on the inner corner of the eye. This is definitely more glittery than I expected it to be. It's also definitely leaning a little more peachy. I was really not expecting that to lean so orange. I'm taking this dense powder brush and blending this out a little bit more. I think it just looks like there's too much of a harsh line over here. But I'll be sitting here blending all day if we don't move on. So I'm gonna say that we're gonna be done with the eyeshadow. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is we're gonna set the face. I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty setting spray. I did use quite a bit more than what I usually would just because my skin is looking a little flat and powdery at the moment. Love this little fan. You know everything starts itching once you get makeup on. I hate that. The nose. For eyeliner, I'm going to go in with the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner, and this is their black. The shade is called Swerve. These go on so smooth. They are so creamy. Really, I would love to have their eyeliners in every color that they make. I'm going to try to smoke out that lower lash line a little bit because there's something about it that's bothering me. I'm just using this really small fluffy brush and I'm not putting any product on it. That looks much better blended out down there. To finish the eyes, we're going to go in with mascara, and I'm going to be using the ColourPop Volume Mascara. This is in the shade Black on Black. The only thing that I don't like about these ColourPop mascaras is that I feel like their dry time is really fast. And crap, just got mascara on the side of my face, but we'll get it. So like just pulling this out of here, like the consistency is pretty thick now, and I feel like it's kind of hard to work with. Like it feels like my lashes are almost getting stuck in the wand. Wow, I'm tempted to poke an eye out today, y'all. Yeah, like it is almost difficult to put a second coat of this on because of how thick and dry this is. So I'm probably gonna be tossing this. Take just a spoolie and scratch off that mascara. All right, now let's get to the lips. So for lip liner, I'm gonna be using, this is the Maybelline Lifter Liner, and this is in the shade Lineleader. Definitely overlining the lips with this. These are such good lip liners. Now I'm going to be using the Juvias Place lipstick. I don't actually know what this lipstick is called, but the shade is called hashtag 2020. I love the packaging. I think it is so pretty. There is what that looks like. It smells so good. It has that nice sweet vanilla cupcake scent that I love in a lip product. So this definitely leans a little warmer than I remember, but that is why we do these videos. See if we still like old products. And this does lean a little too on the orange side for me. So I probably will be destashing this, but I do want to top it. These are my favorite lip glosses. It's the Fenty Beauty lip glosses, and this is in the shade Sweet Mouth. It smells so good, and I just got lipstick all over my nose. Guys, what is wrong with me? It has kind of a sweet fruity-ish mixed scent. It's kind of hard to place. Yes, these are so nice. Alright, you guys, so that is it for today's look. What does everybody think? Honestly, I don't love it. It might be me, but I feel like with all of the products that I used today, using more of a serum hydrating foundation, I'd prepped my skin both times with a hydrating moisturizer and a primer, and I feel like everything just looks flat and powdery. It has a little bit of a shine to it, but I think it's the light. So yeah, I'm not really loving kind of how this came together. Now I will say the palette is beautiful. You guys know that I love Unearthly Cosmetics. They are one of my favorite brands. So yeah, I definitely recommend this palette. I feel like even though like today I used most of the purple tones, I feel like you get a really pretty look with the blues or even just those natural shades down at the bottom. So I feel like this palette would be good for a lot of different people. The new Ravie Beauty blush. It is pretty, but I do feel like that you can get more drugstore baked bronzers. The one that's popping into my head is the Milani. Their baked blushes, are so beautiful, and they are, you know, half the price of this. So in my opinion, I would stick to the more drugstore blushes. And the foundation, I don't love the foundation either. This is probably going to go into my donate pile. I don't think it applied really nice the first or second time that I used it. It applied okay with the sponge, but typically, like I said, I am much more of a brush girl. I'm always going to lean more towards foundations that I can apply with a brush. So yes, that is it. Let me know down below if there are any of these products that you liked. Have they not worked for you? Do they work for you? That is it. So I will see you in my next video. Bye.